Hi guys, I wanted to talk to you today about Middle Ages clothing because that's what I did my project on. The people in the Middle Ages, well, the rich people in the Middle Ages wore things a lot different from we wore today. The peasants and the rich people, you could definitely tell them apart by what they wore, and because the peasants, if you think of people today, richer people, they wear designer clothing, things that cost a lot more. But poor people, they wear things that are more from like the thrift store or cheaper. Well, back then, materials and colors were really hard to find. So the rich people really could only afford a more variety of clothing. Peasants, on the other hand, they had to make their own clothes, and they normally used different materials that they could find, and it was really dull stuff. But rich people, they had a variety of colors, and they normally wore furs, silk, linen, and wool. And some of the colors that they used were red, which was made from the roots of a bedstraw tree, yellow, which was made from birch tree leaves, green from different berries, and blue, which was made from a plant called dyer's woad. The only way they could wear black, because black was a much harder color to get, was if it was naturally made, if it was like naturally in the wool. Like the wool was the color black, depending on the sheep they got it from. And so a lot of them, depending on their wealth, rich people could have their things imported to them. So they would like have it, if they didn't have enough things around, then they would get it imported. So I'm going to show you guys my drawings now of the two different things and explain some of the things on it. So one second. Okay, as you can see, this is the women's outfit. The red would have been a little bit darker than this one is, but I couldn't find the colored pencils. So, as you, like down here, underneath, this is their white linen underskirt. It's normally what they would wear underneath their dresses. The sleeves, as you can see, like how wide they are at the bottom, they had more open sleeves like this, with the different hems. There's hems down here too. Up here, they normally had like a tied waist. This is what normally kept the dress together, the top part of the dress. The richer people wore jewelry, and normally their jewelry was made from stones, like you can see here. It's all made of stones. Up here is her headpiece. It's a linen headpiece. This one's white, and to keep them on, they used a headband, which normally had a little bit of embroidery on it. Over here is the cloak that a woman would wear in the winter time or in colder weather. It's made of wool. They normally had a large hood, and there's a brooch that held it together on them. Over here is the men's clothing. Their shoes were made from all leather, as were their belt. Their belt was held together with a brooch, just like their wool cloak. They normally wore stockings to keep their legs warm, or even in the summer, especially if they were going to be riding a horse or something. They also had embroidered hems along their sleeves and along the bottom. This is a woolen tunic. Sometimes the tunics were made from linen also, but normally the men's were made from wool. And then over here is their cloak, which it's kind of the same, but they also had a large hood, the baggy hood, but that one's down, and then a brooch holding it together. So one more thing about the women's is their dresses were normally made from silk, and so that's the material they used. And for men, they depending on their wealth, you could tell by the length of their tunics. Like if normally the tunics were around like their knee, but if they were longer or shorter, depending on their wealth. And the stockings normally always went up to their knees. Sometimes it went up, they wore tights though instead. So, okay. That is my project on Middle Ages clothing, and I hope you guys liked it.